Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal, Ko-Fi, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by Sensual Goat, Neil, Original D-Rose, Adam, and a whole bunch of people in the Politics Flat Earth Debate Discord server. So welcome one and all.
Let's get it on.
Hola.
Afternoon.
Hot Mike.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon. So we're typically in politics on a Friday, so my intentions are definitely not to take over the joint, so we're here as your guests, as is the case on a Friday always. But with a caveat. So on a Friday, I am there as a regular guest and there to kick ass and take names. Not today, though. So we're here just to join in casually, hopefully have a friendly banter conversation like we did in the pre-show. Obviously, it can't be helped that we're now live, and that does slightly change people's mood when they realise I've gone out to a live audience. We'll see.
They're gonna like to hear the new topic.
I'm very mank, bro.
You joined us during our Globers don't know what the word believe is anymore. They now think believe means truth.
That's fair enough, isn't it? They're entitled to believe that their belief is real. And that's, in essence, what you're suggesting they say. No, belief means it's real, if everyone believes it. 10 years ago, when I got in front of some of these guys, consensus was what they preached. Like, if it's consensus, it's real, to my amazement.
That is a straw man of what that person was actually saying before. They're not here anymore to defend themselves, but I'm just saying they did not say that belief and truth are the same thing.
Fair enough. I wasn't here.
I think that's important to point out. Yeah, that's fair.
No, but they said they were implying belief and knowledge was the same thing. That's the problem.
Sure, that's more fair to frame it.
You're right to pipe up. That's a very different statement. Well, thank you for piping up and correcting the record. well worthy.
And I think he conceded, pretty much.
I like to straw man that stuff. It makes people pop up like that and put their foot in their mouth anyway.
So what about the globe, Pads? Is the globe, does that fall under the category of knowledge for you or belief?
Yo, sorry, what did you say, bro? I'm just about to start sending gifts and shit inside chat. What did you say, sorry?
How are you treating the globe? Is it a belief of yours or is that knowledge?
Oh, mate, who knows these days, honestly, mate. Sorry, I don't know how long you were trying to chat with me. I've been laughing at the side chat. But knows, mate. Nobody knows.
We know.
It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy. You agreed with the definition of belief and knowledge earlier, so can't you categorize it?
Yeah, lack of evidence in it, essentially. I think we went with.
That means your globe's a belief, right?
Yeah, definitely, bro. I think I've explained this to you before. Yeah, I'm not going out there doing many shit myself, so I'm not gonna lie. It is a bit of get out of jail free card, but until I start conducting experiments and calculating shit myself, I take it all upon faith, bro.
Even the fact that the external world exists, right? You're probably not even sure of that. It could just all be an illusion from your mind.
Say that again.
How are you distinguishing that the external world exists, or is that just also a belief you take upon faith because it could all be an illusion from your mind?
I mean, it could. It could, sure. I mean,
then,
God
then you
created
can't know anything. Yeah.
That is.
But
There's a word.
you
there's a word
agree
for that,
absolute. But you agree absolutes exist, right?
Absolutes.
Like, do you agree you're absolutely having a conversation on Discord right now?
Yeah, that's got deep real quick. Just the small disclaimer: I am a stoner, but yes to no. I guess no. Like as you've just said, bro, we can't have.
Okay, then you can't know anything, bro.
Yeah.
So there's no point because you could possibly just be talking to some voices in your head. So why would you open your mouth?
Well, that's because the guy asked me a question.
He's leaning into
How
Descartes.
do you know that?
What? Why?
How do
why?
you know that?
Yeah. I mean, fair enough. You've led with Descartes. I don't know why. He retorted with, "I'm a stoner," which was probably the best response to that little chunk of philosophy you thrown at him.
Well, it was just exactly. It was going to go deep real quick, weren't it? So small disclaimer.
Well, I just wanted to see if he could know anything. That was all.
No, it's a good little acid test.
I am in. I think I am down the with a branch of. I don't think we can confirm anything, can we?
Of course we can.
Like, I really do not.
Well,
believe
how
in
could you confirm that? How could you confirm that statement that we can't confirm anything if you can't confirm anything, bro? Come on.
Stoner guy, he's just toying with you, man. He's just toying with you.
How can
Yes,
we confirm
and
the Earth is flat?
It's good having fellow Brits around. I'm not gonna lie.
You're done.
I'm not going to help you.
No, me.
You don't know if there's fellow Brits around. They could all just be voices in your head, bro.
Why are you doing this to him?
Believe we are.
This isn't just mean. This is tantamount to bullying at this point. I will not have Descartes used in such a way. There's no need for this.
How can we confirm that the Earth is flat?
Just measure it, Neil. Just measure it flat as it's measured and utilised daily by everyone, always. So just utilise it in some way that requires measurement and you'll see how flat it is pretty quick.
Would you agree that if she has an Adam's apple, then she is a he? Would you agree to that, mate?
No, definitely not.
Is she called Lola?
Yeah, sorry.
The wrong room. You need to be in the whatever the other room that applies to transgender discussions, not the flat Earth room. Wrong room. Aren't you on my panel?
Well, they're turning triangles into circles.
That's the
They're turning
contradiction.
science into metaphysics.
We've been doing that for years, bro. Turning triangles into circles.
Not a contradiction, Neil. It's on screen for the audience now. This is what he's talking about, right? Elevations from the plane in the centre of a ball to create a ball with the outside extremity becoming a radius to give you an outside edge called the equator to then transpose into a sphere. That's triangles into circles. I think that's what he was talking about. Am I wrong?
That's not real, though.
Oh, no, that's not real. It's just maths. The angle measurement's real, though. The only part of this diagram on screen for my audience is the diagrammatical example of the measurement of the angle in the middle of the sphere. That's an elevation angle measurement right there, isn't it? That's real. You can really measure it.
Yeah, that's real.
Well, there you go. Everything else is
Yes, sir.
maths.
It also. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it. I was just saying, Neil's saying it's not real, and I'm saying, well, it is real. It's real maths. And the elevation angle measurement in physical reality exists and can be physically acquired. But everything else, that is just beautiful, descriptive maths. That's it. Go ahead.
Does the angle itself adhere to the standard of its own definition?
Well, it's just an angle.
Well, does it meet at a vertex, for example? Are the lines straight,
I see what
for
you're
example?
asking. To be an angle,
Does
yes.
it meet?
Yes, it must. That's the definition. I see what you're asking now.
Is it a triangle?
What if I mathematically changed that?
Changed it from what to what? Like give it a little penis
from the
or something?
standard, from the standard of its definition of an angle itself. Let's say I wanted the vertex, but I wanted the rays, right? I wanted the lines to go out a certain length and then corkscrew.
You can do whatever the bloody hell you like, mathematically. I mean, it's like language, isn't it? You can do what the schneasel pops you like with language. Make it up as you go along if you freezel neasel to.
What if I wanted that baseline of the angle to curve?
Yeah, you can do that if you want. It just wouldn't meet the definition of an angle anymore. Two straight lines meeting at a vertex, right?
So I'd have to loosen the standard of the definition of the geometric aspect itself, right?
No. It's very cut and dry in this regard because the definition's nice and simple. Two straight lines meeting at a vertex doesn't require me to engage in the Socratic method, right? It's pretty straightforward. If it doesn't meet that, it isn't an angle.
What am I doing to it if I mathematically change the lines?
You can give for all I care, you can give that angle a double mastectomy. It doesn't mean anything. Do what you like to it. Invert its genitals. I don't care. If it's two straight lines meeting at a vertex, you can call it an angle and give me a measurement of it in a degree number. But if it's not, you can't. That's it.
Is there any technique for creating like an abstract baseline from a curve? Flat baseline from a curve.
From a curve? You can't get a flat baseline from a curve. You can draw a straight line to a curve.
An abstract one.
No, not even in a... It's a malformed description if you're going to suggest what you're doing verbally. No. What you've just described is a contradiction in terms, isn't it? If it's curved, it's not going
to... trigonometry sort of shit, isn't it? I'm not really clued up on it, but...
But just, no. It's a very simple definition when it comes to angles.
No, I'm not disputing that, but like you say, you can't get it from a curve. So one of your lines is obviously not straight, it's a curve. So I'm asking, between the 2 points, is there any way to create like an abstract baseline that you could then use?
I don't understand what you've just told me. You've just told me one of my lines isn't straight. What lines? I haven't got any lines. We've just detailed what angles are. Now you're telling me, for some unknown bizarre reason, you okay? You need psych check or something? What lines? I'm still talking, still responding, still talking. You're talking straight through me. What lines? I haven't got any lines to be bent, as you've just told me I've got bent lines. What bent lines are you babbling about that I haven't got?
Sorry, I thought somebody said triangles and circles. I must have been mistaken. I take it back.
No, when it comes to angles and measuring them with respect to Earth and its surface, in this case elevation angles, they're always going to be angles. That's two straight lines meeting at a vertex.
Yeah. Sorry, again, I thought somebody genuinely mentioned, I thought we'd initially started talking about triangles and circles, me and Nathan. So.
All right, well, no, at a very complex level, you can extrapolate a radial value when you're measuring things like Polaris at its minimum, and you can derive an external edge of a circle of equal elevation and call it the equator. So that's an angle, otherwise known as a triangle, forming a circle that becomes the globe Earth. So inside the globe, you can describe the angle being measured to Polaris and its minimum to give you an equatorial plane for angle measurements. That's circles from angles, if you will.
Yeah.
Is the baseline of that angle the horizontal plane that the observer's standing on?
That's the definition of an elevation angle measurement. So yes.
Then that's got to be in the surface then.
Yeah, it's the horizontal plane the observer is standing on.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. The horizontal plane the observer is standing on.
Yeah.
That if it was rounded, this is what I was asking. If it was curved in any way, is there any method or technique that we could use to create a flat abstract baseline that we could use for like celestial navigation, for example?
You've got another malformed question. Horizontal plane the observer is standing on. You started your question with, if that's curving.
That's what we're at.
No, it isn't. It's a horizontal plane.
Okay, never mind.
Not really. But as a globe believer, unlike the depiction, right, it's a fundamental misunderstanding by globe believers that you have to bend the horizontal plane the observer is standing on. Like depicted on screen now for my audience, right? In globe belief, you're still standing on a horizontal plane within the sphere of a globe Earth that you think has a map wrapped around it on the outside of it. Well, no. To mathematically describe heliocentric motion, you're inside a ball on the equatorial plane, measuring angles with respect to that plane you're standing on. It's just not the ball that's then mathematicized around your position on a plane. So you don't have to bend the equatorial plane. The equatorial plane's flat to create the globe. Now, if you bend that equatorial plane, number one, you're bending an axiomatic principle of horizontal, which is utterly absurd. But it also violates the base principle that the globe's been created from. That would be the measurements of Earth as a flat plane. The one we're standing on inside the globe when it's then describing heliocentric motion, for example. Obviously, we can't stand in a globe. That's absurd. But we can measure, and we do, stand upon a flat plane. We reference it and measure it to create the ball that many idiots believe they're standing on, because they don't understand how to reify it. And when they describe measuring from a curved surface for angles, utterly absurd idiot. No, we don't do that. We measure flat angles off a flat surface that we're standing on. It just becomes the inside of a ball for you if you think that the Earth's a sphere. Obviously, I don't. I know we measure Earth flat to create that sphere that many think they're standing on, as opposed to in, like on screen, for my live audience. 51 of them watching.
I didn't make that claim.
You're saying that the actual equatorial plane, the horizontal plane that an observer would be standing on to view Polaris and get that angle with a straight baseline of the ground, is moved to the equator of a globe?
No, not moved. Not moved, no.
Globe?
Not moved. It is the equator of the globe. The minimum of Polaris. That is what forms the equatorial plane. That is the plane. It's not changed. It doesn't need any adjustment. The minimum is just where you lose sight of Polaris. When does it breach the horizon, so to speak? That's the equator, if you're measuring it at that point. Well, it's not, as the globe believers think, that's the outside edge or the extremity to the outside edge of a ball that they can't actually stand upon. To get that value, mathematically, you'd be within the ball at the start of your mathematicization of the Polaris measurement. Inside the ball at its zenith is the center of the axis that's going to form a globe, and then the outside edge is the minimum angle that you'd measure to Polaris. That's the equatorial plane.
But it's being done.
Does anybody have any questions about what Nathan's bringing up here?
Yeah, my original question, bro.
What's your question, Pads?
My original question was simply, are there any techniques from getting a baseline from a curved surface? I know you said that's not how they do it, but I said, are there any techniques for that? Any other techniques? So in like spherical trigonometry, do you know of any other techniques that are able to get a flat baseline from a curved surface?
No, you can't. It's one of our
architecture or engineering, for example.
No, it's one of our housekeeping questions. The answer is no. So we turn what you're asking into what we ask on an almost daily basis. Is there any evidence that you can acquire an elevation angle measurement from a curved baseline? That's the housekeeping question we ask daily. It's a kind of malformed question when you understand how housekeeping questions work for us. It's intentionally malformed because you cannot acquire an elevation angle measurement from a curved baseline.
Again,
so the answer is no.
Sorry, Nathan, to cut you off. I think no, from a curved baseline you can't. That's why I keep asking: are there any techniques to help create an abstract flat baseline? So using all the angles
you don't need to.
That you've already got,
you don't need to
create an
Why do we need to create an abstract baseline that's flat when we're measuring one with the horizon, for instance? We're measuring it.
That's not what I asked. I'm just asking, are you aware of any techniques that do it, bro?
Well, we don't, and I'm answering you. Am I aware of any techniques that are abstract? No. In physical reality, we can actually measure Earth as a flat surface to navigate with it. So there's no need to imagine some abstract way of doing it. When we do it to save lives at sea when lost. So in a very practical and real way, actually doing it with respect to a flat Earth that must be measured flat to do this, I don't need to abstract, imagine, I don't need any of those words. It can be done, it is done, Earth is flat to do it, and it saves lives at sea. It's called celestial navigation. It's also simultaneously the way that the globe Earth was created for a lot of people to believe they're standing on a curved surface and perhaps ask questions like, is there any way to develop an abstract curve to get this measurement of Earth's surface from? I don't need to. We can just measure Earth's surface as a flat plane.
Well,
and we do.
Flat, like you say, we treat it as flat. Like,
no, we don't treat it. No, it's not being treated as flat. Measured flat. Not treated, measured.
I'll treat it as.
No. Let's try again. You said it twice instead of acknowledging that that's incorrect. We're not treating it flat. We're measuring it flat for an angle.
Measuring it flat. Okay.
That's right. Earth's measured flat because it is flat. Say it with me. Earth's measured flat because it is flat.
Don't start patronising, bro. Everyone's pretty chill around here.
Don't call me bro. Call me sir.
All right, honey.
Call me sir. I'm educating you.
I'll call you sweetie.
Don't patronise me, don't condescend to me, but yet you're cheeky and insolent and insubordinate. Exactly. Now you're talking through me, which just makes you rude. I'll do as I damn well please, sweetie pie. I'll do as I like. And if you insult me, you cheeky, ignorant tosser, you'll be removed, not me. Because I'm the one educating you, you insubordinate, ignorant prick. Who knows nothing. You're a stoner, a retard. So you won't be telling me not to condescend to you. If you demonstrate some knowledge in this subject matter, I might respect you. But you're a twat, a retard, a fuckwit. So I'm not going to respect you, stupid dick. Okay, sweetheart? Grow a brain, then you might get my respect.
There's no way my approach was more bullying, right?
Christ, bro.
Don't blaspheme to me either. Don't take the Lord's name in vain with me, son. So I will condescend to you. I'll patronise to you. I'll condescend to you. I'll talk down to you because you're ignorant. And now me, I understand in this subject why I can take justifiable hold of this mic and start getting a bit pissy with you. The twat, the retard that doesn't know anything, the self-disclaimed stoner. I'll talk down to you, and if you keep talking through me, you'll be shut up by the mods. Because people here don't want to hear your stupid, ignorant voice. They don't want to hear you. But if you tell me not to condescend to you, they'll take great pleasure in me telling you off. You insubordinate little boy. Shouldn't you be somewhere else huffing on a bong, you stupid stoner retard? Don't condescend to you. I'll tell you off, you stupid little boy. Go and learn how Earth is measured with horizontal planes of reference, utilised in an elevation angle measurement. Oh, what are you going to do? Ask me if I can comprehend and fantasise how we'd get a curve angle, Dumbo? I'll condescend to you, dickhead. You're an idiot. Tell me not to patronise you. I will.
So much for having compassion.
He told me not to condescend to him, didn't he? Insubordination will be met with furious anger and indignation. That's what it's been met with. Don't tell me not to condescend to you, you stupid retard. Learn how to have a decent discussion about this. Don't disclaim that you're a stoner, and then you might, get a little bit of respect out of the people around you? You don't deserve it. Tell me not to condescend to you. That's what you deserve.
Well, he did bring up spherical trigonometry.
Yeah, in a request to me to figure out a way to justify his belief in a ball that's being destroyed. Sorry, I've got to go out and figure out how to get you to worship your ball. Figure out how to square this circle that you need to square. No, why are you putting that on me? Asking me how I can fantasize this spherical trig that we ain't measuring when we measure Earth's surface as a flat plane. Why is he appealing to me to do that for him? You tell me how you get a curve angle from a flat baseline. You don't. Tell me not to condescend to you. Hello? You can't measure a curve angle, boy. Do you hear me, son? I'll slow it down for you. You can't get an angle. I'm trying to be as condescending as possible. Hope this is obvious now. You can't get an angle from a curve, dum-dum. Are you hearing me? You suggested I shouldn't condescend to you. Acknowledgement required, boy. Hello? Yeah, so Earth will be measured flat. There won't be any acquisition of curve angles in spite of this boy's requirement for them. That's not going to happen. Earth will definitely just get measured flat. But maybe people will tell me that I need to figure out a way of fantasizing a curve angle in the acquisition of a flat one that's used flat in every regard. Regardless of if you've got a globe belief, it's still a flat angle, as I explained to him in the centre of hell. At the equatorial plane, we went through it in great detail. I got told not to condescend to him. I didn't get a thank you for an explanation of the equatorial plane and the measurement of Polaris. He didn't acknowledge it in the slightest. Just told me off for condescending to him. The retard that didn't know anything told me off for giving him the knowledge that I've acquired over the bleeding years. You insubordinate little twat. Now my name's Nathan Oakley and I'm calling you names for the prick behaviour that you've demonstrated when you told me not to condescend to you. Now, I was educating you until that point, wasn't I, Dumbo? Now I'm really condescending to you with total justification. Notice no one's stopping me. Yeah? You've been put on server mute while I'm telling you off, dickhead. Pads. Retard. Yeah? Nobody's coming to your defence while I call you a retard in front of a room full of people. You shit-for-brains, globe-believing dickhead. No curve angle, muppet. Yo, mods, do you want to let this retard who thought he was righteous in giving me orders off mute so he can respond to me, the one telling him off? You hear me, dum-dum? I will condescend to you, you clown shoes, bong-huffing clown. Good lad, very wise. Keep yourself on your local mute there. Now that you've been told off, better to be silent than get told off again for insubordination. Nobody's going to be acquiring your curve angles that you're asking me about. Yeah? Didn't seem to want to acknowledge any of the information that I gave you for free. Yeah? Just thought you could tell me off for being condescending. That didn't work out well, did it, boy? Next. For any of you who are unaware, my name is Nathan Oakley. I'm here with the sole intention of making everybody in this server acutely aware that Earth is measured flat for everyone, always, without exception.
You're doing an excellent job.
Well, I'm here tentatively, as a guest. It's true.
See, there is grace, for some seekers of knowledge that come in here with the globe retort, right? But it's also just so fun to beat people with a sugar cane sometimes, It's hard to escape kind of the glee of it. I'm having trouble with it myself. But what you're finding is how fast the globe warriors collapse these days. They run away, right? Their dinner's ready, what have you. They don't last long, just minutes, really.
Yep.
Or they do videos
stamina.
about flight.
You're really keen to talk about Wolfie and Duffy, aren't you, Neil?
I just found it hysterical that they brought their toys.
What Neil's referencing is the fact that Will Duffy and a guy who flies planes called Wolfie 6020 were showing diagrammatical examples of the globe Earth with a toy plane above it to suggest apologetics for why they're not accounting for any drop. Meanwhile, we'll use the black box data that's used by the NTSB when they're analysing life and death circumstances. Those flat Earth measurements that we'll show are a lot more official.
Aren't they such monkeys? I mean, I wouldn't even say they're children, because children know that that's a toy, that's a, little remote control thing and things like that. But
did you just call Wolfie and Duffy honkies?
No, monkeys. Yeah, monkeys. Yeah, because they think on a level of that intellect. Like, you put them behind a rocket or a car, they just chirp and get all excited because look at me. Don't even know how the functionality of an accelerator or a brake is. That's how they think. They, to do things like that, and even to use that when they know what we have, horizontal pitch and things like that. I mean, I don't know. It's just funny. You expect the child to do that, but even the child knows better than to challenge an adult with their Tonka toy versus something else official, I guess. I don't know what it is.
I don't know. All I know is those two crackers were using flat Earth measurements.
Yeah, and that's
you
cars are. So, Nathan, are you saying to the audience that an aeroplane will take off and level off and fly in a straight line until its descent?
Nathan's not saying that. That's what the pitch data says.
The measurement of that data is a straight line of flight.
Don't know if the Globers will have something to say about that. Do you have any Globers want to comment on that, what was just said? Pitch data proving the plane. I know we've got a few in here, don't be shy.
Level over distance at, say, 500 miles per hour. You're saying that gyro in the plane captures a rigidity of that level in space over distance, and that pitch data shows that to be a straight line?
Yeah, the distance itself is linear. So if you're going to describe something in miles per hour, you're describing the miles, aren't you? Those are flat. Miles are linear.
Warriors?
What I'm saying is, before you get into the complexity of describing how much curve there'll be or won't be with respect to a measurement in miles, a linear distance on a flat plane, miles are flat. Same with the elevations, right? So when you look at it on a graph, what have you got? You've got distance and elevation. Is it on a curved bit of paper? No. It's a graph. So the base principle to begin with are flat Earth only measurements in miles. That's the starting point before any other question gets asked about miles per hour. That's another thing, isn't it? That's a difference. That's over a distance. Okay, that'll be requiring a flat Earth unequivocally before we do anything. What's that? We're going to start measuring the height off sea level? Before we've done a damn thing, we've used two prerequisites of a flat Earth: height and distance. You haven't asked anything yet. We've just measured flat Earth twice. You see where I'm going? All roads lead to a flat Earth. Even within a question about how much curve there won't be, you'll use several flat Earth prerequisites before you do a damn thing.
You have to.
So we're here to tell the globe dicks off when they do such things. For example, but not limited to, Wolfie 6020 and Duffy currently out talking about their aeroplane flights. Really? What, with the heights above surface level? and the distance is in miles. Yeah, don't use our flat Earth measurements, you stupid idiot globe believers. You'll need flat Earth for those things.
4 hours, 50 minutes. After they find out what's wrong with the bike.
Well, dear.
Yeah, that's right.
Who's that hot mic? It's Diego. Again.
It's when someone gets a phone call, it takes them off mute. Don't know, it's a glitch in Discord. 84 people watching in my live stream as there's been a slight break in the discussion through someone hot micing. Please share the show if you've not done so already. Smash the super chat to support this channel. We're currently in the politics Discord server, so as you can probably see from Divergent Drive, the fantastic mod that he is, he spammed a link to that Discord server, or this Discord server that you can see on the right hand side of my live stream. So if you did want to join the politics Discord server, which is a fantastic server, then click on that link and get voice verified, or whatever it is they do to run you through the process of getting verified for that server. There's not just Flat Earth in this server, there's plenty of other things to discuss in the politics Discord server. Fun is had by all, so please join the server if you're in my live stream. The link's going by, as you can see from Divergent Droid right now. Please share the show also if you've not done so already. It's 2 clicks, press that share button, stick it on your favourite whatever, Bebo, MySpace, whatever it is you like using, Skype. That joke will hit home in about a month, won't it? That Skype joke. Is there any other defunct social media platforms? Got MySpace, Bebo, Skype soon.
MySpace.
Vine.
Vines? Is that
MSN?
defunct? Stick it on Vines.
MSN.
Yahoo Messenger.
6 degrees, mate.
Just pop the link to the show in an AOL instant message and you're away.
Wow, that's what I was thinking. AIM. That was lit. I remember those.
AIM. ASL. 21. Female. Blonde. Beautiful. There's loads around by me. I get messages all the time about hot blondes in my area. I'm not watching anything untoward when I get the messages.
Well, if they're hot, but they need to take some clothes off.
Apparently, they're always within about 4 miles. There's certain men in the room that are keeping very quiet and know exactly what I'm talking about. Filthy, filthy men.
Did you guys know that apps are created on a plane?
On a plane, what, piece of paper?
The planar Earth.
Apps are made on a plane. You know, this is one of those roads that may not lead back to a flat Earth necessarily, but where you're going, I don't really understand. Feel free to fill us in.
Shut up, Chuz.
Okay. Shout out to Retro Bill for hitting the super chat in my live stream. Really appreciate the support, Retro Bill. He says, best discussion ever regarding honkies and inverting the genitals of a triangle.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much, Retro Bill. Someone's hot micing with their kid.
Seems to be coming from you, Nathan.
Not coming
I
from
was
me.
about to say super chat.
Oh, it's Neil. It's my panel member pretending to be a small child.
No, I just did that because I heard it. I'm so used to QE when you hear Booger come in.
That was disturbing on a whole number of levels, Neil. Anyway, thank you for the super chat, Retro Brill. Really appreciate the support, and I'm glad you liked honky talk and whatnot. Very glad. Thanks for the super chat. I may as well plug it
Any
again.
globe honkies in here? Globe honkies.
Globe honkies.
Step up.
Is that a new one?
Globe honkies. Let's
Globe
go,
honkies.
bro.
They're ready to talk to you, Nathan.
Round
you shall
2.
receive, mate. Asking you
Fight.
shall receive.
What are you after, Pads? What are you asking for?
What knows, bro? I just heard shout out from my boys. Somebody said globe honkies, so my ears, started ringing.
Oh, bless. Are you a globe believer?
I'm on the edge, mate. But you're pushing me back towards the fucking globe.
I don't care.
No, I'm on the edge, mate. I'm on the edge.
Thank God.
It shouldn't mean anything. What I say shouldn't affect it, right? It's measured flat, regardless of what I say. Who cares what I say?
No, I'm just joking with you. I'm just joking with you, bro. Don't worry.
No. Many a true word spoken in jest. You meant it because you don't want to be offended by me, and you want to blame me for either your relinquishment of a globe or your deviation back to flat Earth, as you're suggesting. That can't be blamed on me.
Nah, I know. I'm fucking with you, bro. I'm only offended by people that I know. I don't think I've ever been offended by a randomer online, but with all due respect, and I wasn't being a dick. I was asking you for the exact reason you mentioned, bro. You've got years of knowledge of it. That's why I was asking you. I wasn't being a dick by
what are you asking?
You. I just thought, who better to ask,
What are you asking?
Earlier, the earlier question that I asked, obviously. I wasn't being a dick by asking you.
About acquiring curve angles?
Yeah, when I was muted, you said I was asking you to put the earnest on or the responsibility on you. I wasn't. I was just curious if you knew, because as you said when I was muted, you've got a lot more years' experience. So, I mean, who better to ask, bro? I wasn't being a dick asking you. I was just genuinely asking.
Okay, well, fair enough. Well, very conciliatory of you. In that regard, no, you can't acquire an elevation angle from a curved baseline. It's a contradiction in terms. It's two straight lines meeting at a vertex. Drawing tangency by assumption to a dingleberry Earth is what is done to try and square this circle at the surface level that doesn't exist on a ball. Because the actual utilisation of these angles is done from within a ball, not on a ball. But if you want to suggest that it's being done on a ball after reification, by way of the measurements of Earth flat to create that ball, you can suggest that you're drawing a tangent to a ball. But you're not. You're acquiring a flat Earth measurement from the surface, not to a tangent point out in the distance. Make sense?
Yeah.
Jolly good. Regardless of who you are, if you want to believe you're on a ball, more power to you, right? Say that it's my fault you're going back. I don't care. Good for you. Keep your ball belief.
No,
doesn't bother me.
Again, I was joking, mate. I was just playing with you.
But I'm saying you can keep it. It's up to you. People are entitled to believe whatever they like. But once you
I'm
understand,
down with a lot of the flat Earth observations, bro. It's the space stuff that I'm not aligning quite well with flat Earth. But a lot of the flat Earth observations, the lack of curvature, the drop over distance and stuff, I am warming up to a lot of the flat Earth observations and the lack of globe, proof really. But it's when you start touching space and gas without a container that I just can't get my head around all that side of it.
Can't get your head around what? Gas spreading out?
Sorry, one sec. The gas without a container argument is where I start to break down, and the atmosphere and the gravity is where I tend to not be aligned with like flat Earth ideology.
There isn't any ideology. Who's telling you what the sky is from a flat earther's perspective?
I consider it an ideology because I don't align with it, like I've just said. To you, it might.
Yeah, I heard you the first time. I don't align with flat Earth ideology, and I said there isn't one. What is it? You've told me again as a repetition that you don't align with it. Okay, no, there isn't no. You're now chanting through me correcting you.
Well, you asked me, I was about to tell you.
Irritating tosser. I'm going to start insulting you if you don't stop doing it. You're being a wanker. Shall I just spell it out for you, wanker? Stop doing that. That's your first warning.
Please don't insult him if you can help it.
I'm describing what he's doing. He's chanting through me while I'm talking to him about what we don't claim. He's told me twice what I as a flat earther claim. Now I'm being told off because as I correct him, he's talking through me. Now I've paused and gone, I'm still talking, and he started laughing. I'm just going to say it again because now the mod's told me off. Now he's talking through me while I'm appealing to the mod. He's doing it again. So he's now, trying to piss me off?
Pads.
He's trying to get me annoyed.
Pads, can you stop cutting him? Yeah, can you stop that, Pads? Because you're just triggering. There's no need for that.
Thanks.
Wait till he's finished.
Thanks. Just correcting him. that he's incorrect about him not agreeing with my ideology. There isn't one. We're not asserting what the sky is. Meanwhile, there is assertion that's positive, that it's a vacuum, an empty volume that gas isn't filling. That's not our assertion to not align with. So in the third attempt, could you tell me what this ideology you're telling me you don't align with is, when the only positive assertion I'm aware of is that the sky is claimed to be a vacuum in violation of natural law, gas-filled space?
Yep, for the third attempt, you have asked me, and for the third time, I can try and I argue it. But what I consider the flat Earth ideology at this stage is all them points of contention that I don't agree with. So that might change day to day. I understand there's not an overarching ideology presented by flat Earth. Sure, I'm just saying the points that I don't agree with, I'm considering must be some sort of like ideology, because I don't believe in them. I don't see any evidence for them. I don't. So
I don't know what you're not believing in. There isn't one or anything to believe in. There's only one belief. I've just said this fourth time. There's only one belief for you to align with. That's that the skies claim to be a vacuum. There's him talking through me. I listened to him, didn't I?
Yeah, sorry, yeah. Apologies.
It's okay, son, you're triggered. It's painful for you. Yeah. You can't wrap your head around your own belief in a sky vacuum, but you want it to be a flat earther's ideology that you don't align with. There isn't an ideology that I have for you to align with, fourth time. What there is a stupid, idiotic assertion that the sky is a vacuum in defiance of the second law of thermodynamics. That would be that gas fills space always. So the sky isn't a space for gas to fill, like for rockets to fly around in. That's not my ideology when I tell you that as a statement of fact based on natural law. That's a natural law that your belief in a sky vacuum defies. There's no ideology for you to brace against from me, only your own ideology of a sky vacuum that makes no sense. Just so we're clear.
Okay, let's just go with that then.
Yeah, so the sky's not a vacuum. It's just nonsense. It's like fairy tales that we were taught as kids, like watching Superman fly around it at the cinema and stuff. But it was all nonsense.
Got proof.
No, it's a violation of natural law. You can't prove that a law of nature doesn't apply, because it wouldn't be a law of nature, would it, Neil?
No, but maybe he has proof of gas pressure without containment. I would like to see it.
That's a violation of natural law.
Well, like I'm trying to explain it, but I can't think of any example where there is gas pressure without a container, without like relying on gravity. But then flat Earth denies gravity, and when I said ideology, it's the things side by side that have.
Oh no, that's fine. He said
it's the things. 1 second. Let me again. 1 sec. It's the things side by side when there might be 2 or 3 of these things that I just straight up don't agree with, or think Effie have missed the boat on. When you put them side by side, I'm just saying they're an ideology. Please don't get hung up on the word ideology.
No, okay, I won't. No worries. But you said beyond the demonstrations with gravity involved. Oh, that's okay. You can have gravity. Have both of them. Show us gravity without a container with gravity. You can have both of them. No worries. Just show us.
No, I can't. Like I say, they kind of rely upon each other for the only example that we can think of being like the Earth and the atmosphere.
No, that's an oxymoron. That's an oxymoron.
Very problematic.
That's an oxymoron. So atmosphere.
This is where, like, the globe, and this is where
my God, do I get to respond?
Sure.
That's an oxymoron. There is no atmosphere. Atmo, that means air. Mm-hmm. Well, that's a gas, mixture of. Mm-hmm. Sphere, you have to along. Do you want to pop yourself on mute while I respond to your oxymoronic, atmospheric nonsense? Gases, that's air. Mixtures of them don't take sphere shapes.
Alright, it's the end of that then. No mad.
Right, but there's no oxymoronic sphere-shaped air around a ball in a sky vacuum. It's a defiance of the second law of thermodynamics. Part of a religion that derived that necessity for a sky vacuum from flat plane measurements that created a ball to be within moving around the sun in a sky vacuum. There isn't one. It violates a law of nature. There's nothing for me to give to you. I don't know what the sky is, for you to brace against or align with as a paradigm, or not align with as a paradigm. I'm not giving you anything. The only thing that's asserted about the sky is from our heliocentric overlords who say it's a vacuum in violation of natural law, which it definitely isn't. Gas fills space.
I didn't ask you for anything. Again, I don't remember asking for anything, bro.
Pardon? You don't remember asking for anything?
Yeah, one of the last few sentences that you just said was, "It's not up for me to provide you with this sort of stuff." And I'm just saying that I don't remember anybody asking you to provide anything.
There's 100 live audience members of mine, though. Nobody cares what you say. No shit. Yeah, I've got 100 people listening to me that aren't you.
Bounced, didn't it?
I'm still talking. They're not you. They don't care what you think or know either. You're but a blank canvas for me to communicate with 100 other people that aren't you, that I am talking to. Did you not realise? Oh, I'm sorry about that.
I realise I'm part of like a pantomime or something, sure. But
so that's insulting. Sorry, what's that, wanker? Pantomime? No, this isn't a pantomime when I describe Earth as not having sphere-shaped oxymoronic air. Are you turning your nonsensical assertions that I have to correct constantly into some sort of charade? Why would you be making my show into a pantomime with your stupid assertions that I have to constantly correct? Oxymoronic sphere-shaped air, you say? No, that's a straight-up violation of the second law of thermodynamics I told you earlier. The sky was not a vacuum, and you told me I had a paradigm that you didn't want to align with as a flat earther. Yeah, that's you making your nonsensical statements. That would be the pantomime here. Now, me having to correct it, it's not getting any gratitude from you, of course. You're questioning why you would even be told this stuff, right? Insubordination on another level. Yes, we know. We've experienced it with you before, son, haven't we?
So do you, like, recite this stuff before you turn on YouTube, or is this just all like improv, bro?
What are you talking about?
Somewhere?
Did I what? Recite this stuff? Did you?
Yeah.
Are you in a fantasy world where you and I are actors together and we've both got scripts, but you've had amnesia in the last 20 minutes and forgotten that we ever? Are you talking through me, wanker, while I respond?
No.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you're definitely talking through me while I address the shit that you just spouted at me about whether or not this is rehearsed. So, are you suggesting that you and I, together, in this discussion we, collectively, you and I are having, was scripted before the fact? Are you in need of mental assessment? No, sir, you and I did not go through a script together.
I mean, you can take it as that's what I said, sure, but
that's obviously not what he meant. I mean,
sorry, you're getting a white knight.
Well, you're just like a mentally ill retard, so it's
somebody wanted to tell me off and call me a retard. It seems.
Second time.
Yeah. Somebody sharing their pain from the globe side needs to tell me I'm a retard when I tell this guy off for oxymoronic sphere-shaped air. No, oxymoronic sphere-shaped air is retarded, and I'm going to get chanted through because I'm not going to tolerate being told off for nothing. I haven't done anything wrong. Why would I get told off?
Just no insults, bro. It's as simple as that, isn't it?
I'll do what I like. I mean, if I get banned for insulting somebody who's pissing down my back and telling me it's raining, or talking through me while I correct their nonsense, like someone who tells me that sphere-shaped air, if that person persistently chants through me, right, I'll call them a wanker, because they are. Now, if I get told off and banned, it's no worries, I've got a live audience that will assess the moderation of me. Personally. Sometimes I get it wrong, I don't strike that right balance. Sometimes the wanker who's chanting through me gets too stern of a tongue off me. But in this instance, you're definitely just a wanker talking through me, because you've asked nonsensical shit and then called my show a pantomime. That's rude. Yo, asshole, my show's not a pantomime, but for the dicks that assert sphere-shaped air, it wouldn't be what you called it. A pantomime. Now, nobody jumped on this asshole for calling my show a pantomime. That's very rude. I'm going to get told off for insulting this dick. That's very unreasonable. No, he's a dick. He's called my show a pantomime because he brought up oxymoronic sphere-shaped air incorrectly, and I had to address that crap for an audience of 100 people, correcting the dum-dum with his nonsense again. The ignorant stoner globe believer with his stupid nonsense had to be corrected while he insulted me and called what we are collectively doing a pantomime. What a wanker. Yeah, that's a justifiable description of what he is. A wanker.
And he's wasted our time.
Has he acknowledged us? Educating him on the flat plane of reference, the elevation angle, the equatorial plane. Has he acknowledged a single smegging word that we have educated him with? No! He said we're involved in a pantomime while some white knight tells me I'm a retard. Is the guy who called me a retard getting told off?
If you pause, I could reply.
Nobody was asking you, Dumbo. I was appealing to the moderators about whether or not the guy who stepped up to the mic only to tell me off for telling you off, you, the actual retard with your sphere-shaped hair. You got told off because you bought a dumb shit. Now, that wouldn't have been the case had you have not called my show a pantomime and chanted through with belligerence, you're being told off for calling my show a pantomime, which is what you did. Now, that isn't you acknowledging any of the education that you've had here. That's you being quite rude in response to us educating your dumbass, isn't it? Now, you won't get told off for being rude when you say the word pantomime. That's not an acknowledgement of the flat plane of reference you had educated. Is it?
I think it's because of the way you speak, though, bro. It doesn't. I've just never had anybody communicate.
That's an ad hominem attack. Now I'm being ad homed by the way I talk.
Like,
really? You realise that the way I speak I was trained by professional voice actors on how to enunciate and project. So I can be heard at the back of a thing. He's still talking through me. The way you speak, through the top of me, you wanker. I can enunciate perfectly and project to the back of a theatre. I speak very well. I've got a mild Birmingham accent. Nevertheless, I speak and enunciate clear enough through my absolutely exceptional Neumann microphone so that my audience and you can hear me very clearly when I call you a retard for your oxymoronic sphere-shaped air and globe belief. Now, when we correct you about your idiocy about being on a ball to acquire a flat Earth measurement of elevation angle, you haven't acknowledged those things. You've been rude in response. You've been belligerent in response. Now, when I call you a wanker, there's a good chance that someone will hear that and go, hang on a second, is a flat earther telling a globe earther off? Maybe I should tell him off for that. No insults here. Nobody got insulted. I described this wanker and his behaviour. Pantomime, son. Do you want to apologise, or shall I continue to chastise you for your belligerence and rudeness?
Are you masturbating on
Excuse me, sir. Can you stop doing that, please? I'm asking my opponent to apologise for his rudeness when he called what we are doing here a pantomime, when all we were doing is correcting his incorrect assertions of oxymoronic sphere-shaped air. That got called a pantomime, as opposed to, thank you. I didn't really think about how sphere-shaped air can't be when gas fills space. No, he didn't say that, did he? He called a pantomime, sir? Could you apologise for that, you arsehole?
Oh, yes, he did.
No, I think given the level of abuse you've given me, I think
arsehole. Either you apologise, or I'm just going to ask the mods who respect me to remove you from the discussion. We'll move on to someone else, and we'll just shut you up. Because I won't tolerate pricks like you who are now yammering through me in defiance of my request for an apology when you were rude. Calling what, a pantomime? No, I was addressing sphere-shaped air and its oxymoronic nature. Pantomime? What, men dressing as women? No, sir. You're just rude.
No, I think given the level of abuse you've given me, I think it was a pretty spot-on-the-money remark, bro. I think I've been pretty civil.
Pantomime is where men dress as women in old world theatre. This is not a pantomime. You are a masturbator. Somebody who's abusing his own penis for his own pleasure, metaphorically, in this discussion. Because he's not doing it to acknowledge what we have responded to him with. He only wants to insult us. Self-pleasuring. Yeah, it's a metaphor, in case anybody didn't get that. Yeah, it's the metaphor used abusively at me about 3 minutes ago, presumably by a globe believer who didn't like me chastising this wanker. Now, Pads, you've been shut up because you're a wanker. You're not acknowledging the invaluable education that we're giving you. You're calling it a pantomime. No, we're addressing the stupid shit that you spout. Your words having to get addressed gets described by you as a pantomime after the stupid nonsense you've spouted gets addressed. Totally unreasonable, globe-believing asshole. That's why you've been shut up. Maybe when we invite you to talk again, you can moan and bleat about how you've been muted. No, you were muted because you're a wanker. Hope you understand.
Well, he came back in and said he didn't mean to be a prick. He wasn't trying to be a prick. And then he becomes a prick again.
Yeah. Shout out to Duncan McLeod. Your rudeness proves gravity.
Not mute me though. He speaks through me. I speak through him. I'm the only one that gets muted. Just hold up with the muting. Come on. Just chill out a little bit.
So I called it. Do I get a prize? Because I literally predicted your response when you came off mute 100% accurately. Shout out to Duncan McLeod. Your rudeness proves gravity, says Duncan McLeod as a super chatter to me who values my work and is paying for my words, while this wanker carries on talking about how he's been abused with the mute button. You're a wanker, so you were shut up for being a wanker. Now, I've asked you to apologise for describing what I do as a pantomime when we addressed your oxymoronic sphere-shaped air, and instead, like a wanker, you're now talking through me and appealing to how you've been wronged for being shut up for being a wanker. Now, you're not acknowledging your wanker-like behaviour. Do you want to acknowledge the fact that we don't have oxymoronics? No, he's just going to talk through me before the question comes his way. So I don't mind asking the mods. This wanker's not listening to me while asking for the fourth time to acknowledge that it's not a pantomime. It was an address to oxymoronic sphere-shaped air that destroys your fantasy of a sphere Earth with a sky vacuum around it. But you're not acknowledging that. You were insulting and rude and belligerent. And now you feel hard done by because you've been shut up for being a wanker? Yeah, we've addressed what you said about mute buttons. Now can you apologise for describing us as being a pantomime after addressing your oxymoronic sphere-shaped air in the form of atmosphere?
Like I've said, mate, you are right. You've asked me 4 times, and 4 times I've given you a pretty chill answer. I think, given the levels of abuse that you've insults...
Wanker, shut him up, wanker, shut him up. He's a wanker. Level of abuse? No. I addressed the fact that you'd used the word that was oxymoronic, and you can only choose to see that as me abusing you. How pathetic. No, an address to oxymoronic sphere-shaped air is not abuse. You calling what I do a pantomime is an insult and rude. And we're not going to tolerate it. You can come back with, oh no, I've been muted. Get lost. Yeah? Nobody gives 2 shits about your bleating for being a wanker. You've been shut up because you're a wanker. Now, over on the Globe dickhead side, people like Red Rhetoric will shut your dumb ass up if you've got a crap mic. Here, we'll give you a significant portion of a live show for 107 people to listen to you talk about oxymoronic sphere-shaped air that you'll never address because, oh no, you've been muted. Yeah, this is a neutral platform. They don't tolerate wankers. They will mute you for being a wanker. While
They apparently do.
What was that, raised by goats?
I'm just going to mute myself. Like, this is painful.
Sorry, you've piped up to tell us that you're going to mute yourself.
I think it's just hard for people to have a conversation with you, Nathan, if I'm being honest.
How do you know it's not a fetus Earth?
Did somebody want to address the bit that the guy who was shut up can't address? So we don't have oxymoronic sphere-shaped air because air doesn't take sphere shapes. Could somebody who not him, because he wanted to call pantomime and say that he'd been muted. Lots of obfuscation. Can somebody carry on the discussion about oxymoronic sphere-shaped air around a globe Earth that's measured flat from within an equatorial plane? Anybody going to address that? No? Excellent. I'll make my conclusions then, if none of the White Knights wanted to take up the reins where Pads left off and failed. Sorry, was it only through the top of me? I'll make my conclusions, I said. Obviously, me saying I'll make my conclusions, given there's no response to my winning argument, I'll take that as an opportunity to make my conclusion. There was a fair bit of obfuscation, talk of being muted for being a wanker rather than an address to the oxymoronic sphere-shaped air that originally came in rebuttal. Yeah? But that rebuttal didn't succeed in anything other than being oxymoronic and still in defiance of the second law of thermodynamics. So space is fake. There is no outer space. For you Americans, you're just being lied to about an area of volume where men, get trapped for months on end in a tin can floating around in an orbital motion, described from within a globe? I'm thinking, no, that area's not real.
You sound like you jerk off while you're like...
Share your pain. Share your pain, globe believer. Share your pain. Space is fake. Yeah, did you need to get it all out while I told you?
Share it live, bro. Why are you so manic about it though?
Manic?
Yeah, the way you're talking, like manic, bro.
Humans love the delusion of
I've been
conspiracy.
sitting here long enough listening.
Sorry, there's no mania here. Do you know what that word means? Manic.
No, I do know what it means.
What does it mean?
And I am also a flat earther, but I'm over here chilling, listening to you, bro, and you do sound kind of manic.
Okay, what does manic mean?
You sound kind of high.
I think he sounds passionate.
Sorry, what was the guy that was just accusing me of being manic? Just everybody else, can you stop off for a sec? Sorry, I was just accused of something. It'd be nice to have the conversation rather than it just descending into somebody else talking. Sorry, I asked him twice to define what manic or mania is. He didn't. So is this just an insult in lieu of the oxymoronic sphere-shaped air? He claimed to be a flat earther like I asked. I didn't. Nobody cares. Meanwhile, there was a claim of a sky vacuum and the defence was oxymoronic sphere-shaped air. And the response to that is, I'm suffering mania? That doesn't seem like a response to oxymoronic sphere-shaped air. So can you just step off, dude, flat earther or otherwise? I was in the middle of dealing with the assertion that the sky is a vacuum. In conclusion, I was describing our fake spaces, and it seems like you're just trying to subvert that by talking through me. Nobody cares if you have an opinion of me being something you can't even define. Otherwise, you'd defined it when I asked you to. You didn't. So nobody cares about your opinion you can't define. Thank you, though. Me, I was destroying an entire world.
It's a deranged form of excitement.
Sorry, you think I'm deranged?
Yeah, that was another guy,
sounds like an insult. Sorry, are you diagnosing me with that? Is that man a doctor? Is this what you get in politics? Do we get diagnosed with illnesses in the Flat Earth section of this Discord server? I'm asking in sincerity as a guest here. Do we get diagnosed with mental illnesses in this server? No? So I'll move on with my assertion that space is fake. Because gas fills space. There's another white knight, Jeff. Jeff, I'm in the middle of debunking space, mate. Middle of debunking space. Did you want to accuse me of mental illness or something? What's going on? I'll try again. For all the people who are a little bit triggered by space being fake. Aww, bless. Did you all have ideas of going to space in little rockets? Aww, that's so sweet. Nevertheless, it's a violation of the second law of thermodynamics. Gas fills space. Should I say it in a really flat, nasally, adenoidal, monotone voice so I'm not accused of being manic? Space is fake. It's a violation of the second law of thermodynamics. Entropy, gas dispersion, gas fills space. Was that monotone enough for you, bunch of globe-believing Nancys?
Well, no, but talking like Ben Shapiro and trying to be manic while you talk.
Oh, God.
Sorry, it's this Jeff guy, the same guy who insulted me last time. Is this the same guy who insulted me last time?
Person.
Right, yeah, Jeff. Jeff, you sound like you were dropped on your head by your mother. It sounds like you've got slightly, like you've got a cracked skull at some point in your life. Did you suffer a severe head injury at some point, Jeff? Because you sound like a spastic. I'm just saying, like you're just saying repeatedly about me. I mean, were you dropped on your head, Jeff? Because it sounds like it.
Are you mad, bro?
Were you dropped on your head, bro?
Are you mad, bro?
Are you, bro? Dick. That's the second time you've used the same insult. Dick. Space is fake. There's no need to tell me I'm manic. Yeah? Now, I'm taking the piss out of you when I turn on a different voice, and now you're interrupting me, yeah? It doesn't seem like you want a reasonable discussion, Jeff. You just want to talk through the middle of me and insult me while I'm in the middle of talking, pointing out how space is fake. You just want to tell me I'm manic, and now you're being rude by interrupting in the middle of me talking. Jeff, you're off mute talking through the middle of me, Jeff. You didn't have much to say in the pauses between when we were having a discussion. You had silence and to repeat yourself. That's all you had, Jeff.
Where do you go after the flat earth, or do you just get hung up on the flat earth?
That's an ad hominem. That's why you've been put on server mute, Jeff, you stupid spastic that's been dropped on your head by your mother. Yeah, that's why you're not taking part anymore. Somebody in the server's gone, no, we're not going to tolerate this wanker and his ad homs. So you were muted. Because you used an ad hom. At the man, in case you don't know what ad hom means, you blithering retard.
Do you know what ad hom means?
At the man. Ad hominem, at the man. It means that you're not addressing the argument. You're attacking the person in lieu of addressing the argument. That's what ad hom means.
You don't realise the irony. You don't realise the irony there.
No, I've not attacked anybody. There is no irony at all. I'm going to answer you if you're asking me. It just seems like you're asking me so you can now talk at me. It was a question. I'm not going to take it as rhetorical, so you can waffle your shit straight through the top of my response. Have I not considered the irony? There isn't any irony. I haven't insulted anybody in lieu of any arguments I've had. When I heard a rebuttal, for example, atmosphere held by gravity, I addressed that as oxymoronic and cited the second law of thermodynamics. Now, when I was told that it was a pantomime, I addressed that ad hominem fallacy, because that's not addressing my rebuttal of, no, that violates the second law of thermodynamics. Yeah? When I describe someone who fails to address my rebuttal as a spastic, that's a fact and a performance assessment, not an insult, not an ad hominem. Now, based on the fact that you've miscategorised what I have done as being fallacious, I'm going to call you a retard, because it is retarded. That means held back. And I'm talking about you mentally being held back. That's retarded, because you don't comprehend what an at-the-man fallacy is. I've not used one, ergo there is no irony here, sir. You may respond. You may respond. No, just the ad hominem fallacies, and then the Uno Reverso card played. No, you're attacking him in lieu of his argument. What, like oxymoronic sphere-shaped air that I absolutely rebutted and then got told we're in a pantomime? No, I'm thinking you're fantasising that I'm not addressing these arguments here. I am. Like when I debunk space as being fake. That's me addressing the argument. I'm not calling the man who says that space is real and he just can't reconcile flat earthers' position. I'm not calling him a retard when he says that. I'll say, no. The atmosphere, that's an oxymoron. That's me addressing the argument. So do you want to demonstrate to me perhaps where there's some irony in that addressment of his argument in the form of oxymoronic sphere-shaped air that I addressed? Oh, maybe that's an ad hom. Maybe he is called sphere-shaped air and I'm attacking him, the man. Dickhead. Again, performance assessment. When I called him a dickhead, that's not an insult. Somebody who would tell me that I've used an ad hominem fallacy when I haven't. I've only attacked the arguments. That's the behaviour of someone admirably described as a dickhead. Shout out to Duncan McLeod. Just tell him, deadass, no cap, you were dropped on your head, bruh. He will understand then. I love lingo. Thank you for the super chat, Duncan. Right. We've taken over the joint. It's been fun. Thank you for having us. We'll see you on Friday, guys of politics.
Yeah, welcome. Thanks, Nathan. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Nathan, for coming by impromptu. Like earlier, you raised a question about the mental health thing. Generally, the rule is that you can try to diagnose someone and they can tell you no thank you. You can say no, I don't want to participate in your medical treatment. And if they also persist in that and then try to use their diagnosis of you as some sort of way of like attacking your person or your character, then it becomes inside their own worldview, they're violating multiple server rules at that time, because people with mental health disabilities are a protected social class.
Yeah,
so it'd be
isn't
the
it
same
nuts?
thing it'd be like the same thing saying like, hey, I think that person is homeless or LGBTQ or whatever, any protected social class, and then they start using that, then they're violating inside their own worldview. They're multiple server rules, and they generally get banned, and they'll get detained and whatnot.
Yes. It's one of those that's it's a standard that we have to adhere to, but by the same token, flat earthers are not a protected class of people. Neither are gingers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're not until they assign a protected social class to you, like say, hey, you're bipolar. And at that point, they protected you. They've given you an identity that you don't have, and then use that identity to attack you. They word switch. They take flat Earth and then put a protected social class in place of that. And then now inside, it's not true, but in their own worldview, they're up against multiple problems at that point, multiple terms of service violations.
Right. Indeedy. But with that, I'm going to say another huge, massive, enormous thank you to the Politics Discord server and my G Plus panel for making today's live show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. Stay tuned if you are watching on an after show. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.